Go onto the phone lines and speak with the Health Minister, Mr. Kando, who also led the launching, as you saw in the story. Honorable Minister, thank you for your time. You're welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana.
Good afternoon.
So, Mr. Akando, so you've had a lot of, programs you're rolling out as far as the health ministry is concerned. You went round the country to deal with Agenda 111 to give us some updates. You also have now launched the Mahama CARE program. We've had Dr. Nsiah Asare, who has come in to indicate that some of the free dialysis had already started in certain institutions, and so it was not entirely true that the dialysis, freebies is not being rolled out, when he also launched the Mahama CARE, indicating that the program will start rolling out. Firstly, let me ask how the ministry even looks like with the programs that started before you took over.
Yes, I mean, to tell you the truth, a lot of mess has been caused in the system. And let me begin from the Agenda 111, as you mentioned in your introduction. The President stated in his last in the first State of the Nation address that none of the Agenda 111 projects in operation. People like Nsiah, as you have mentioned, came out to challenge him that what Mr. President was saying was not true. So I do not understand why people continue to listen to people like Nsiah. And you see, as leaders of this country, I continue to say that to be candid with the people of this country is basic, So I had the opportunity to tour some of these facilities. And the interesting aspect is that the very facilities they took the former president and not Danko Akufo-Addo to commission, and those they claim are in operation are even the construction site. The civil works have even not been completed. Installation of equipment are less than 20%. There's absolutely no health worker at these facilities, let alone thinking about operationalizing these facilities. And so when you hear, and I went there with praise. So when I get back and hear people like this are still speaking, I get worried. So, I mean, no, none of these Agenda 111 facilities have been completed or commissioned or are in operation. And as I speak to you now, we need more than, $1.4 billion to be able to complete all these projects. Even those that they commissioned. For Forukro, for example, the commitment we have on Forukro is in excess of $8 million. The Trader One, we also have a commitment of in excess of $8 million. If you go to Bokro, in Ahanta West, about $9 million. If you sign a contract and you have not performed your part of the contract, you've not paid, the property cannot become the property of the state. And you see a whole president being carried there to commission such a facility. And you still listen to people like Nsiah Asare. By now, they should be answering questions. By now, they should be answering questions. And then he comes back to say, these facilities are not in operation because we have stopped health workers who were recruited. We have sacked them. Can you imagine? When they commissioned this project in December 5th, 2024, was NDC in office to sack any health worker? So you don't get it. So, Mr. President, this whole project was being handled at the presidency. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has directed that the project must be brought to the Ministry of Health. And then we audit and give him a blueprint as to how, going forward, we'll be able to complete this project. So these are the realities. We went there with some of your colleagues, the media was with me. And these are the three that they claim are at the highest completion levels. So please, these are the facts. As I speak to you now, they have expended about $4 $400 million per their own calculation. This $400 million should have completed about 22 projects if they had rolled it in phases. Now, this $400 million have been expended, and not a single one has been completed.
Yes, I spoke with the former Minister of Health, Dr. Okoboy, who indicated that maybe your approach of expending the $400 million would have been different. But according to their government, this is the approach they decided to use, and he urged you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm saying that with the greatest respect to my colleague and to Ghanaians, if you are put in public office and you are serving the people of this country, any decision you make must make sense and must benefit the good people of this country. If you are going to roll out projects like 111 hospitals construction, number one, it's just a common sense that you must have dedicated sources of funding in the first place. If you don't have reliable and dedicated sources of funding, and you're even relying on DOG, what is basic and fundamental is that you must begin to ask yourself how many of these projects you can complete within a year. And then you roll the project in phases. So you ask yourself, now we have expended $400 million, and the project was supposed to be completed even at most in 2021. We are in 2025. $100 million is gone. We owe 1 billion Ghana cedis, and none of these facilities have been put to good use. This is not a good decision. It is not. And no, but I am shocked that he can even have the guts to grant interviews to that effect. It is very, the discretion was poorly done. They know best why they took those decisions. They know best how this project was even handled at the presidency and all that. So for now, we have been directed to audit, and we are doing the auditing.
They also make a point that the University of Ghana Medical Hospital was put up by His Excellency Mahama, and when they came into office, they also, proceeded in employing health workers to start the operation of the hospital. So it's the same thing that they want to assigned to this particular Agenda 111, some of the hospitals that are completed, that all you need to do is to start employing health workers and let it and set it operational.
You see, Annie, sometimes they set their own questions and begin to answer the questions. Look, I would have had no problem if the president, when he visited those sites, said, oh, these are the levels of completion of these facilities, and that they are even far advanced. I don't have a problem. I mean, they said the facilities were completed and that they were in operation. Even after December, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said in his State of the Nation address that none of these facilities were in operation, you didn't hear what they came to say? The same person there, whoever, what's the name? In terms of that you are quoting and listening to, came out and said, Mr. President was lying. These are the issues we are dealing with. In the case of the University of Ghana Medical Center, everything, including transformer. You remember that the former minister, Ajimamanu, came out to say they were not going to make the place operational because they didn't have a standby generator. Have you forgotten?
Yes.
But we have not forgotten in this country. It took a student, it took an ordinary Ghanaian to go and take, a shot of the generator to show the whole country that they were lying. Okay, so please, these are the facts I am telling you. If you think that you are a president or you are a minister, and then your decision is that you will decide to use $400 million on about 100 facilities, so that kingdom come and will not benefit the good people of the country, and you think that is one way of spending the money and it's good. I mean, posterity will judge all of us. Will judge all of us.
Now, So briefly now, as we go into the, I'm sure you're going to find monies to complete some of these projects. I hope so.
So now, that's the most important thing. Mr. President, has directed that we do an audit of the whole, whether or not we even have, value for money in the first place. We will determine all these things. And whatever we want to do with these facilities or these projects, we'll take Ghanaians along very soon.
Now, before I let you go, if you can, give us a brief on Mahama CARE program. Dr. Nsiah Asare has also come out to make some responses. He's talking about how some of the free dialysis program has already started rolling out in certain...
Is the coordinator of Agenda 111. Nsiah is the coordinator of dialysis, and nobody in NPP is talking at the moment, and people are listening to Nsiah. Hey, we have a problem. Oh. My God. Okay, so now listen to the issue of dialysis on Agenda 1, what do you call it, Mahama CARE.
Okay.
The rate at which the NCDs, non-communicable diseases, are killing people in this country is quite alarming. In fact, the statistics indicate that about 42 to 45% of mortality in this country are attributable to NCDs. So as any responsible political party contesting elections, you cannot turn a blind eye to NCDs. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama promised the good people of this country that he was going to have a dedicated source of funding for the NCDs. And so we took the top three, the cardiovascular diseases and the cancers and the kidney-related ones. Okay? These are the three we took. And therefore, what we are intending to do is to establish a fund to subsidize the treatment of these chronic diseases. So we are going to have a statutory entity clearly define the sources of funding, so that we'll have reliable sources of funding for these conditions. And so we'll take. Remember, they cut the National Health Insurance Fund. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has decarved the National Health Insurance Fund so that we can rake in more money. We take part of that money to go into free primary health care, to go into Mahama CARE at the same time. And we'll look at other sources too. Okay? Now, the dialysis you are mentioning is part of the chronic disease we are seeking to subsidize its treatment. And let me explain what happened. You remember, until my appointment as a Minister for Health, I was a writing member on the Health Committee. We call something the National Health Insurance Formula.
Yeah.
The last National Health Insurance Formula, the 2024 National Health Insurance Formula, we, the committee, we, Parliament, made a provision of 2 million Ghana cedis. And Annie, please listen and listen good. We made a provision of 2 million Ghana cedis in their last formula, 2024 formula. And then they saw that even the 2 million Ghana cedis was not enough for dialysis alone. So they went and took another 2 million from the corporate social responsibility, the item on the formula, making 4 million. And they came out to say that they were going to treat people under 18 years and people above 60 years. Annie, please, do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
Good. Very well. That was the position. Then, in December, late November, they came out to say that now they have announced that with effect from 1st December, dialysis was free.
Free, yes.
That was 1st December when we were going to have elections on 7th December in 2024. Now, 4 million, they're talking about 4 million to take care of free dialysis in this country. And let me say that formula, the 2024 formula, expired on 31st December 2024. So beyond 2024 December 31st, there was no sources of funding of the dialysis. It died, that 4 million, died on the 31st of December 2024. Now, let's do a quick calculation, mathematics. Now, we have not less than 1,200 people when we talk about dialysis alone. 1,200. They need not less than 3 times a week at the rate of 400 Ghana cedis. If you do simple mathematics, you are looking at not less than 74 to 75 million Ghana cedis. And I mean, you are telling me that the provision of 4 million can take care of something that we are supposed to. We require 75 million Ghana cedis. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Even that computation might reduce because of lack of dialysis machinery. We are not even able to the 1,200 number that you're calling. I'm not sure all of them can have access to dialysis treatment.
Even this, I am even talking about the access aspect is even a completely, different matter. It's even different ball game altogether. We must begin to look at, because even if you decide to subsidize the cost of treatment, and somebody in Tamale or Boga or Yagaba or in Gaboso cannot get access to dialysis machine, it's useless.
Okay.
So this is another thing we must begin to look at. When people like Nsiah begin to talk, you ask yourself whether we want to hear the truth or we want to hear tricks. In this country, when you have gone to facilities with media men, representatives from your media house, you've seen the truth, it must take you again to come out and speak to what Nsiah has said. Sometimes it's a bit strange, but hey, we'll continue to take the news along, we'll continue to explain issues, and God even said it, those who have ears to do that, listen.
All right, Mr. Mahama CARE, Minister for Health and also a Member of Parliament for Jubilation constituency. We're grateful for spending this time with us. We'll come back to your outfit to see how you source for funds.